Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is an intumescent cataract with soft nucleus. Let us observe this surgery. This is the main incision on the posterior aspect of the limbus with a steel keratome. And now, one side port is made about 3 clock hours away from the main incision on the left side, and another side port is made on the right side at the same distance away. An air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber. Beneath this air bubble, trypan blue 0.06% dye is applied over the anterior capsule. The dye should touch on all parts of the anterior capsule, and since the dye is not diluted by aqueous, staining is immediate. The dye is washed out using BSS. This is BSS, and now 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose is used to fill up the anterior chamber. This is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. The methyl cellulose is applied over the corneal epithelium for better visibility. And now capsulorhexis. The anticapsule is incised with a 26 gauge bent needle and a curved flap. A C flap is made. And now a utrata forceps is used to convert this C into a minirexis. No visco is applied at this time. Let the anterior chamber be little shallow, doesn't matter. But if we apply a lot of visco at this time, the visco may go into the capsular bag through the minirexis and increase the intralenticular pressure. And now some cortical lens matter is aspirated. This reduces the intralenticular pressure. I am using a 23 gauge Simcoe cannula to remove some cortex. I am rotating the nucleus, and this rotation causes lot of visco to come out from behind, and it comes out through the minirexis opening. Even we don't have to aspirate. If we just rotate the nucleus, since the irrigation is already there, the cortical lens matter will come out through the main incision. We can use bimanual irrigation aspiration or only the irrigating probe to remove the cortical lens matter. If we just rotate the nucleus with the irrigating probe of bimanual IA, the cortical lens matter will come out through the main incision. After removing some cortex, visco is injected, and then a Vanna scissor is taken and a cut is made at the margin of this rexis at around 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and with the help of the utrata again, the minirexis is enlarged into an optimum sized rexis. At this time, there is no tendency of the capsule to run to periphery, and we can do a beautiful rexis in this way. And if we master this technique, we don't need any femtolaser for doing capsulorhexis in intumescent cataracts. This is the ideal exposure of the phaco needle, and now the phaco needle goes beveled down. Some superficial cortical lens matter is removed. This is done so that the cortex doesn't cause blurring of visibility. And now this is a soft nucleus, so we just have to hold it very mildly with low vacuum and use the chopper to divide it into several parts. If we use lot of vacuum, we cannot hold such soft nucleus. I used 300 vacuum for this case. The nucleus tilted and it is being emulsified in that position, and in no time the nucleus is emulsified and removed. Ultrasonic energy used in this case is 60%. And now there is some cortex. After applying some visco, I am using a 23 gauge Simcoe, and by this time the assistant is getting ready with bimanual irrigation aspiration. So after injecting some visco, we can clean some cortical matter through the main incision. The visco comes out gradually and the antechamber is nicely formed. And by this time the assistant is ready with bimanual irrigation aspiration. So the subincisional cortex can be nicely removed by the bimanual irrigation aspiration. Before using the aspiration, I am using only the irrigation to loosen the cortex. Once this is done, the aspirating probe is introduced and all the cortical lens matter is nicely removed. And now hydrophilic acrylic single piece monofocal intraocular lens is being implanted, keeping the antechamber formed by irrigation, and this is called hydroimplantation. Yes, the lens is in the capsular bag. The optics, or the optical part of the intraocular lens, is nicely covered all around by the rhexis margin. So this is an ideal rhexis of about 5.5 millimeter. This is a bit of moxifloxacin, and now the side ports are closed by hydrating corneal stroma on either side. The main incision, it doesn't need any hydration. The main incision has been made in such a way that it is self-sealing. And now this is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. At this time, whatever visco sticks to the corneal endothelium is removed and the antechamber becomes totally visco-free. So the chance of TAS by visco is eliminated. The antechamber is nicely formed, and then the integrity of all the ounce are checked, and then a few drops of moxifloxacin is applied over the ocular surface. And then the case is concluded. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve your patients with love, respect, empathy, and great surgical competence.